Docking request accepted.
Good morning, New Eden. Today is March 8th, 2026, and this is the Federation Frontline Report. I'm your host, Frozen Followed, and my co-host is Samson.
Ohayo gozaimasu. New Eden.
Howdy, howdy.
How's it
So,
going?
daylight savings doesn't happen in Japan.
Yes, it does not happen in Japan, and I apologize for that. That's why we're an hour late, because I was not ready to do the show an hour early by my time zone. So, apologies to everybody, but we're a little bit later today. We'll probably
we might push
I'm
it
gonna
back.
try.
We'll see.
I don't know if you
It's,
want to push it back.
it's not too bad. I mean, we could put it to 8 o'clock. That's not a huge
Well, what was
issue.
it before? Wasn't it
It,
7 o'clock
it was
before,
five
right?
o'clock.
So
It was 5. It was 5 o'clock. Then
5
we
and
changed it
7.
to 7, and then moving it to 8 isn't.
I mean, 8 on a Sunday, well, we'll see. I'll try to make it at 9 next time, but it is getting rougher because Night Flyer's schedule has made things really bad for the show as well. So we're kind of like, maybe there's a compromise. Maybe it's 7:30.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll have to have a little discussion now that time zones are all mixed up.
Fucking
Somebody's fucking with
daylight
time. I
savings
don't
time, so
understand why.
stupid. Because the daylight
Um,
savings time is only the U.S., right?
not only the U.S., but like there are a lot of countries that don't observe, but there are a bunch that do. Um,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, it's 10 a.m.
and then
here.
there's like
10:10.
Arizona, which is like doesn't do it, but the rest of everything around it does. So it's like going to a whole different universe when
It's so confusing. Just stop fucking with the time, guys.
the time we should just all go off of Greenwich Mean Time. That should just
Yes,
be
yeah. We should all be the same.
GMT. Should
The
just be
same.
that's it. That's it. That's what time it
Or
is. Nothing.
UTZ. No, Eve time. UTZ is just.
Just based on where you are, because you can choose for your
No,
town.
it's 11 a.m. in the morning, but it's dark outside. Who cares,
Yeah.
right? It's the day before where you're at. I think that's the craziest thing is the time is me being in the future, because this is Monday for me.
Yeah, that's another
Um,
thing. That's
And it's annoying because like I'm filling out paperwork for like electronic questionnaires for like tax bullshit. And if I do it before like 3 p.m., it says that the date is yesterday, and you can't change the date when you're starting the first page, and it throws an error. It says you cannot have the date be the before this date. I'm like,
right.
God damn
Yep.
it. So I have to wait until the date changes in the US in order to do the paperwork online, or it
Right.
won't let me.
Yep.
Just silly time zone things that we're talking about. But anyways, we have we
Well,
have we
this
have
is
we have
why time
actual.
zone tanking is a huge thing in Eve
Yes,
Online,
no.
though.
Well,
That is
okay,
a
yeah, to bring it
huge
back to Eve, it's yes, time zone tanking is a thing. Yes, it absolutely is. Especially because like in my time zone, I am like hardcore tanked in our area for ratting. No, there's just nobody. There's just nobody in our area, so I can rat. I haven't been ratting lately, but we've been doing a lot of other stuff. We've been participating in a lot of null stuff. At least I have, and I know you have.
Yep. Yeah, we've had some good times. Wednesday was really wild, so we can kind of jump into that, which was
Yeah, that was craziness.
yeah. So
But
we hung out with Vapor for Wednesday Night Fleet. This time we didn't broadcast it because there's a little bit of OPSEC Black
it
Ops
was a
kind of
strat. It was a
activities.
strat op. Yeah, and we were doing Black Ops, but we can talk about everything that happened now because it's after the time. Like
Done.
we're not
Everybody knows
we're not
about it
under
now. It's posted on
everybody.
Reddit.
Yeah, and Zkill. Yeah, Reddit Zkill. So there's the big news. So super down. That's a frat super down. An Aeon was taken out in Geminate MR for attack MY. Um, that was on Wednesday, US Wednesday, during our fleet, as Frozen was saying. And that was an interesting fleet. We decided to, our alliance called a strat op because we're deployed currently, and they call a strat op instead of doing our normal faction warfare fleet. We decided to do that, but yeah, so we didn't broadcast it because it was a strat op. But it was an interesting night because we started out, it was blops. We were all blops. We were all in Deemers.
Yeah, we had a good showing
And
from the Corp. Everybody pretty much that
yeah,
normally shows up for Wednesday nights was there, so we were able to
yeah, we
be
had
a
a good
nice
showing for our
presence.
corp. Yeah,
Yep. It was just a little
it
group
was
of, pretty solid group like of
just a little group. We are some of the most dangerous fucking murderers in the alliance. I just want to say.
No, I
So
mean like
I think we.
the fleet itself was actually just
Oh
a
yes,
small
yes, we were
group.
we were
Yep.
about 26. So if you look at the battle report, which I probably should have pulled up, do you have the battle report handy? You can send it to me and I'll pull it up.
I
But
do
in the
not. It is
okay,
post. If you could go to it's in
yeah,
the
let me
Vapor
just
Discord though.
yeah, I just gotta pop this out so I can fucking do that. Hold on. I'm a terrible host. I understand. Wasn't
But
prepared for
yeah, so
this.
there was it was really interesting and I kind of went with that battle report, want to take a look deeper at the timeline. But from my
Battle
memory,
reports.
and we'll
Battle
correct this
reports.
by looking over the timeline maybe a little bit more. But basically, from what I understand is we
All
were
right,
doing
so
some
battle reports.
blopsing. There was about like I want to say 25 or 30 of us.
Yeah,
Um,
30 of us. So here's the battle report. Let me zoom in on that a little bit here. The second largest showing on our side was our alliance out of the blue at 30. Of course, Goon Swarm is much bigger numbers, but they brought like I think they brought Deemers as well, but they also brought like a giant ass fleet of Kikis when the super showed up. So I have here the battle report. It's declassified, which means I had it. I left it in my bathroom in a filing cabinet someplace. But I have the battle report declassified. These are the words of Rotz Mindwerker, our supreme leader of Vapor Alliance. And so I think, Frozen, with your blessing, I'll just read his report. Does that
yeah.
sound like a good idea? Because okay. So, Blops in Uragana for Aeon Electric Boogaloo. That's a very important title. We formed the gang in Hammerfleet. Reft and Athens. Should I do an impression of Rots while I talk, or should I just
I'd say you just go with your voice.
just go with my voice? I might sound too gay. He would appreciate that joke. I'm sure. Anyways, we formed the gang in Hammerfleet, Reft and Athener, and proceeded to hunt. So, side note, there was a random Athener in our staging, so we refed it with fucking Deemers. We had to go back and get and get more. This is just a side note from Gwen. We had to go back and get more fucking cap boosters because those things are not made for reffing structures. Just saying. Anyways, it was a slow night. I was watching our hostile pings intel and saw WC and entities were active, etc. Nothing wild, but they were out. WC Winter Coalition, our enemies in this case. We were deployed currently. As if by providence, some content appeared, but like the obvious bait kind. And I believe we mentioned them. We always take the bait at some point later on, but the MNI we killed last night, Glock 1, was out again, and you guessed it. So MNI, Moros Navy issue, had priorly been taken out by a Blops gang the day before, flown by Glock 1. A Moros Navy issue. He was running a crab in MR4. We spotted, more importantly, however, I caught a whiff of WC's HFIs formed nearby. So Winter Coalition formed a big-ass fleet of Hurricane fleet issues. This was obvious bait, but also we came here to fuck. Okay. I just want we came to fuck. That's what our 20 fucking redeemers were there for. Hostiles were vigilant when a FIGL cruiser gang came in and went to Glock in the Crab. The MNI cleaned them up and no hostile fleet came in. The little kill whores they are. I was proud, honestly. Anyway, I called up some additional help to spring the trap and we got quick route set up for them. TLDR, goons pinged and FRT immediately sinoed in the HFIs, cleared the site and got the MNI out. Womp womp. Well, not to give up, Vapor, that's us, warped in at Vanguard and went for the Devoter Sino that was left over. Clearly, they wanted to dunk Vapor Demers. Why not give them the snack? Again, always take the bait. Aeon warps in. All hell broke loose. I'm flipping out on comms. It's a shit show because, like, what the fuck? Anyway, in comes goons. In comes the MNI again. In comes HFI's Apostle to rep the super. In comes a hostile PNI. It's wild. Goons got their kikis on targets. We are mopping up subs. Meanwhile, I just want to say, this is, again, Gwen. I've never tackled a super in a deemer, but that's what I was doing. I was orbiting a super in a redeemer and I had it scrammed. I was holding a deep. I was holding helping hold. I mean, other people were too, but still. Vapor is getting boosted constantly. Gwen did not get boosted ever because she was orbiting the super. So she was outside of our fleet getting boosted. Just another heads up. We stabilized and made a good choice for the dreads. FRT is pinging to save, so like take what we can get, right? WC's FCs make the choice to let it die and stand down. We go all in, clean it up, and extract. Another gay, Jesus Christ. Another day in Yurgana. So that's the what you see over here. Their losses on this side. We got the Aeon.
Yeah,
we
pretty
got Glock's Moros
substantial.
Navy. We
So
got the
Aeon
Phoenix Navy. We got the Apostle and a few
68
subcaps.
million. We got the Moros Navy issue for 7.6 million. The Phoenix Navy issue, I also want to point out.
Porno out, yeah. Well, we came to fuck, Frozen.
Well, yeah, it's 22.9 billion ISK, so almost 23 billion ISK worth, just in that ship, just in one of the Phoenix that they dropped. So it was a pretty crazy Phoenix that they fielded there.
I think Zekiel pointed it out as like 18, but still, that's a lot.
No, that's what it's. Maybe it's.
The battle report says 22. I wonder if that was adjusted.
But in any case,
I mean, I can look at this here. The Phoenix. Oh, this is up here. Phoenix. Yeah, it says 18.6.
Oh, interesting. So this is pulling numbers for slightly different numbers. Any case, let's take a look here. There was there was a fax that we killed as well.
Sorry, this thing is being stupid.
Yeah.
It highlighted everything, and now I can't unhighlight it. There we go. Fuck. Okay. Yes, there was a fax that the Apostle melted. So what I recall, when they brought the Apostle in, there was a call to switch to the Apostle, and it was gone. Like it just disappeared. I barely got on that kill. But I will say this: during the time that I was orbiting the Aeon, and people were getting boosted off, and then I did have to boost myself off at one point because I got primaried, and I was like, oh shit, this hurts. So I was being shot by an Aeon and a Phoenix and a bunch, and I did have reps, but it wasn't gonna happen at the time, so I boosted out, and then that boost timer to get myself back was the longest fucking timer in the history of the universe. I know it was only a minute, but I was like, yeah. I think I mentioned that, and Rots was like, well, you got to train your skill up, and I was like, it's maxed, bitch. It's like it felt like so like I gotta get back in, and but yeah, eventually got back in and kept shooting, and let's put that back there. Anyways, go ahead, Frozen. Sorry.
So, but yes, thank you so much, Franco, for the follow. And one of the things that we'll be jumping over to is some stuff that we did in Faction Warfare space this week. From this fight, though, this was one of the most epic like to spur the moment catches that just was like, where and why did this super drop on us? Like
Mm-hmm.
it had to have known that, like there, it's not too, that's the danger of playing with a lot of these toys in Small Gang, is that there is, because of wormholes, because of just the way that the galaxy is built, you can get a substantial force in, and unless you can back that force up with a much bigger force, or at least something that's mere or very comparable and ready, like that's where things become really dangerous here. And that's why this guy lost his ship, is because he fucked around
Yeah.
and he found out, and he didn't have Winter Co on standby. He
Yeah.
screamed at
And
them to
we
come save him,
apparently
and then
had goons on
they were
standby.
like, and right, yeah, we had, we were saying that we were messing around, and started talking to people when we saw stuff was about to go down. um, so it's interesting to see, that kind of experience. um
And it was also, I felt it was pretty cool to be the part of, we caught the super, right? Like we caught it.
right, yeah,
Like
well, yeah, we were the
Goons
one.
did the
Vapor,
majority of the damage, but Vapor caught the super.
actually,
And then
Vapor's pretty high up on the list, on there for all of our, I mean, as you're like number 3 for
yeah,
damage.
well, Gwen did. So yeah, if you look at the battle report, the top three damages was this guy, Harrigan Rayan with 252K total damage in the fight, and the second would be yours truly, Gwen, with 206K damage in the fight, and then the third is Eleanor in this Redeemer, and they are all Vapor, I think. Yeah. So the top damages in the fight were all Vapor, except for, I think that one fucking,
There was a
no, the
Tholos,
Cassador, the
or
not
not
Tholos, the other
Tholos, but
thing.
the upgraded
Uh, it's a Cenotaph, the Cenotaph, which I'm not
Phenotaph,
seeing.
yes.
It must be further down. But the Cenotaph, I'm sorry, is the top, and Gwen would be third, I think.
Yeah, that
Because the
Phenotaph
Cenotaph, I
did an
think,
insane amount of damage because of its.
I don't know where it is on the list. Oh, you know what? It's probably by name. So his name is Cazador, so it should be right at the top. What the fuck? No, it doesn't show up. That's so weird.
Well, it's sorting
But
by
yeah.
ship and then name. So
Oh,
that's.
okay. Ship. So then it would be Cenotaph would be, well, then that should be up at the top, but it's not showing up at all. Am I
Is it
crazy?
on the
Here,
other
you know what?
side?
That would be weird.
Oh, there it is.
Cenotaph.
5.6%
Jesus
damage.
Christ. Look at that. No, that's stupid, dude. That is an absolutely insane amount of damage. So he by far is the number one, but then the two second and third are Gwen, or not Gwen, Harrigan and Gwen. But that, yeah, it's nuts. That Cenotaph, that I think it's because it's breacher pods like ignore
It ignore all resists,
resistance.
and then it also
Yeah.
is based on how big the ship is. So the bigger
So
the
it does
ship,
more
the more
damage the bigger the
damage
ship.
it
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
does.
So an Aeon is going to take the most damage from a Cenotaph. So smart to have that on the field. But we had three. I think there were three Cenotaphs on the field. His must have been there early on. Um, because Goons did drop some Deemers in too. Yeah, they dropped a Deemer fleet as well.
750
And then these.
DPS that ignores resists to an Aeon. With the
Yeah,
breacher
yeah.
prod, says Twisted.
Yeah, I mean it's nuts. This
Yeah.
is it's simply crazy. But yeah, I'm again
Also
a first
perfect
for.
DPS, and then you can move away and go and drop it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then move away.
Perfect. Yeah, and I first time again, another first in Vapor. Like the last first that I was talking about was a first Keepstar kill, right? This time, no, I think it's the first time I've killed an Aeon, but I think I've been on a Hell kill before, I think. So not the first super, but it is the first time that Gwen was tackling a super and a Redeemer. So that's an interesting. I've never been in a tackle Redeemer before, so
Yeah.
fun.
So
All right.
yeah,
Anyway.
that was our Wednesday night, and then on Saturday I ended up doing a Evothon for Girls Who Code, and so that was a really fun little adventure that I went on, where I just did a faction warfare run, and faction warfare has been going pretty well lately. At least from my point of view of what I kind of get out of faction warfare, and I know there's a lot of different things that can add into the different equations and stuff. But this was a really great run. We went for 5 hours. In the end, I think you can still donate, so I'll post it here.
Post it.
It is. I'm not sure when the donations can or will stop, but continue to definitely donate. They're at $4,013.01, and their goal right now is at 5,000. So definitely make sure that you give to that.
Girls Who Code.
Girls Who Code. So yeah, just a organization that's focused on trying to get a lot of programs and different kind of career paths and college assistance
related to coding
for, and getting
for girls.
Yeah, because there's definitely a large difference in how many people from men and boys and girls that are interested.
There's
in
definitely
that. So
a sexist lean towards boys when it comes to like coding and stuff, and so there's not as much resources out there, I don't think, and it's good that something like this exists to help level the playing field.
And then I will post that also on the podcast description and also on YouTube, so that you can click on the description and you'll be able to get to that link. And that was Saturday morning for me. I went out and just did a bunch of solo PvP. It was awesome. At the very end, I switched it up and went up north and hung out with the Ribbit fleet that was out and about to kind of give that experience too. And one of the things I'll say is that solo PvP on Saturday was unbelievably awesome, and there was
I see that. You see a lot of solo kills here. Yeah, and one of them is a fucking Caracal Navy issue.
Yeah, yep. You
were ENI.
Yep, I jumped into my ENI, was able to catch that. And this is when I don't normally hunt. I do a lot of sitting around and waiting for people to come after me. And this night, I was like, well, let's keep it active and just go hunting a whole bunch. And there was just a bunch of people willing to get into fights, looking for fights. And I had a Huron that had dual shield injectors. Like, he couldn't hold me down, so I could go after him a bunch, but I did, two of them. It was the same guy. I think I got into a fight with him like 4 or 5 times.
Oh yeah, it's got two medium ANSIs. Jesus Christ, what the fuck?
No, those basically it's like one hit and it's like 60% of his shields. It's pretty insane. I was really impressed because my Federation Navy Comet could not bring him down all the time. But I was able to defeat him, I think twice. I was able to beat him down. The last time, so I'll start off with how the day kind of went, which was kind of fun. There was, I saw that in Agamemnon there was a Vexer that was running around. And so I went in, got my
Nagamemnon.
Where is that coming from? Oh, hold on.
Oh, sorry. I'm sharing my screen. I was testing the audio.
Oh,
that was my bad. It's okay to test the audio before, but not when I'm sharing the screen because it shares the audio as well.
I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Anyways, so I jumped into a
Just a
Vexor
remix.
or an Executor Navy issue, and that was a unfair fight for sure. Um, I don't know how much they really wanted to fight me, but they stuck around, and they had to stick around for quite a bit because I had to like burn up to them, catch them, web scram them down, and they they just got pulverized into the ground. But that like was at the very beginning of like we just started going out and hunting, and all of a sudden, boom, we already have a Vexer, which you don't get very much cruiser fights. They're pretty rare.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so we're done.
so yeah, the one second, pull up something here. So yeah, the second fight that I got into was a Comet versus Comet, which was a really great fight. And both of us wanted to fight each other. He was blaster fit though, and dual armor repper, and you can't sustain that with. He also had an abyssal warp scrambler, I think. No, not. Never mind. Just warp two, or no, just tech two. Um, but this was an odd fit for a ship.
Oh,
Um,
this one?
Yeah, it's a little bit different. The dual, I don't like the dual armor uppers because you just can't sustain that, especially since he doesn't have
Auto
anything in the
targeting
rigs.
system?
He had an auto targeting system. I don't know what that was about. That was
Fuck.
weird. Um, and yeah, this was a very interesting fight. He's like, I didn't do very well, and I was like, that's okay, man. Like, it's you tried. That's all that matters. And I
Yeah.
think I got into a fight with him again,
Nine
Captain.
Luigi is Xing up in fleet, so add
Aha,
him to
he's
fleet.
Xing up.
We
Added.
don't have a fleet, but
You were added to this fleet, to the spaceship show that we have. Did I fight him again? I thought I fought him one more time,
uh,
but it
I don't
doesn't look like I
see
did.
another kill. No, just the one comet kill here.
Anyways, after that, then went up against a Huron, which this was interesting. I was fighting this guy, and I believe I got him twice. There's 2 Huron kills for this, and I think I fought him like 3 or 4 times throughout the night. That was really interesting because this guy is a dual ancillary medium armor repper, and it was really hard to take him down with the
Shield,
Comet.
shield.
Or sorry, shield repper. And one of the big things with that too is that I wasn't playing it as smart as I should have been, because he was willing to fight and he wanted to try and kill me. And this is how I got him the second time, because the first time I think he hadn't repped up since the last time that we had encountered each other, and I think he was running low on something, or it just caught him off guard to a certain degree. Um, because I do remember coming in and he had some armor damage from the last time that we had fought, and I was like, oh, okay, this might be a time that I can catch him, and I was able to wipe him out. But I stayed in really close, did the web scram kind of thing, and in that kind of situation when they're super heavy tanked, the one reason why I like the Comet is that, especially with the afterburner, as long as they're not micro warp drive, which a lot of these fights are done with, if it's solo, afterburner is so huge because I've got a scram and a web. So even with a micro warp drive, there's some major problems that you have, like keeping really close to somebody. But
Yeah,
with
you can slingshot past them, right?
things shot past them, once your micro warp drive is, you can stay within maybe like 10 kilometers, like 7, maybe like 4 to 7, 8, 9, 10 kilometers, and but you every time that you get in close, you lose your micro warp drive. So unless you also have an afterburner, the
Hmm.
afterburner is really the way to fight in faction warfare for solo PvP. uh,
In plexes, especially.
yeah, in plexes specifically, yes. because you have a specific drop-in point that you're going to be at. You're immediately going to be assume that you're going to immediately be within scram range, and if you control if you are in control of how the fight is being maneuvered, the tactical positions of what's going on, and just range control in general is a huge problem. If you don't have an or it just in general in faction warfare plexes when it comes to the actual battle that you're in. So I was able to control things a lot better when I decided to, oh, he doesn't have range control, I have range control, and he wants to fight me, so I don't need to always have him scram and web down. So in the beginning of the fight, I kind of hung out a little bit, took a little bit of damage, and then kind of pulled off like I was going to try and leave and, become scared again, because I had multiple times had to pull off of him. I was, down into, I think, like 30% structure at one time and like 10%
He's got a
structure
rocket,
at another.
so when you get close, the rocket's gonna hurt a little bit.
Even
They're
those,
autocannons
yeah,
too.
autocannons are going to. I believe that he had barrage for his autocannons. Is that what he had in? If you
Republic fleet,
okay,
EMP.
that still is going to hit out at the ranges I was at was like 6 kilometers.
Yeah.
So it really was actually starting to hurt when I got into like 6 to 8 kilometers is what I try and dance between. But instead, I just went out to like 15 kilometers and just pelted away at him, forced him to use up and get into an off-putting, and also kind of things are going a little bit easier for him, so he's gonna relax a little bit and be more chasey after me. And I was able to get him the second time by pulling him out, and then like as soon as I noticed that like things that he'd done a bunch of reps, I just was like, okay, I'm not taking much damage right now, and I just pulled back into where we were both doing our maximum amount of damage.
He had barrage loaded in the second fight.
Yeah, that makes sense, because yep, I was starting to be on the outer rim of his damage at that point, so I forced him. That's another thing, is when you have the control of getting back in close, you can make sure you have your close range ammo still going.
Watch for the coming of the ark.
Yeah.
Within it, salvation
Indeedly
is
doodly.
carried.
And to be clear,
we have Canuck doing a text-to-speech, giving us the good chant of the Amar, the prayers. Welcome, Canuck. But yeah, so that was really awesome. I had another person with an Imicus Navy issue. Yeah, no, it was Captain in an Imicus Navy issue. So I did fight him the second time. And that's where I was like, oh, okay, so this time he came at me with
here he is, Captain.
with the Catalyst Navy issue, and it was pure, buffer tank, which I don't, and active tank is actually really good in solo PvP. It's unbelievably crazy good. As you can see, is where Huron can take on a comet. So he didn't
shield,
have active,
especially because you can't be neuted. Like if you're using armor, you can be neuted out. If you have an armor repper, any armor repper will get neuted pretty quick.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, so he tried this time, and he was out there. He came in, burned in at me, tried to get right up on top of me. He did a little bit better. I think he did get me into Hull, if I remember correctly. It took a while to like push him down.
You are Hull tanked.
And he did have dual web. Now he had Tech 1 dual web, no, he had Tech 2. So he definitely had range control. He should have got underneath my guns. That would have been a huge help for him. And we did start off at range, which, but I didn't take too much advantage of that. I know that these, the exploration faction frigates that came out are actually, almost all of them are really good at PvP. Highly suggest checking those things out. That's one transition I haven't gone over to yet, but I need to. I've seen some really cool things done with the exploration faction ships. So he's like, I did better. And I was like, yeah, you did better. You definitely did better.
Mm-hmm. Good job.
And then, yep, I had the well, so there was one non-solo kill because while I was killing that Huron, a Merlin came in, and I was like, oh shit, so it's this guy and a Merlin that I'm gonna have to deal with, but it was 40 kilometers away. And then I noticed a Retribution came in, friendly. And so he kills the Merlin. I kill the Huron. Both of us just got our solo kills out of it. And then a Thrasher came in, and the Retribution had burned way off. I was dinking around trying to loot, and the Thrasher came like right for me. Came up right on top of me. I was able to slingshot away from him. I had almost no hull or structure or armor left. And I was just about to get blown up, and I was able to warp off. I was at like 5% structure or something at that point. It was really rough. Because he had hit me a good number of times too. And I was like, Jesus Christ, this is the dumbest way for me to die. And when I warped off, I didn't know whether or not that I hadn't been paying attention to whether the Retribution was still around. But apparently it was, because it ended up killing it after I'd left. So I got that kill. I was pretty happy about that. There was a Caracal Navy issue. There was 2 times that I ran into a solo Caracal Navy issue. This is a different guy, but I ran into another one that was in Nagamenon. And I had jumped into Nagamenon, and I was looking around, and there was a Caracal Navy issue. So I went and peeked in and checked, and so I went and got my E&I. It was like sitting right on the button, so I was like, okay, so this guy seems like he wants to fight. So I brought my E&I, and then when I came in, there was a bunch of other blues in the area that had just kind of jumped in around this time too, and there was somebody just off of scan in a Federation Navy Comet, I think, and so he was like, no, dude, you're with your friends. And I'm like, actually, I'm not with any friends. It's possible that they might have jumped him. And so I was like, I'm not with any friends. I'm streaming. But I totally understand why you wouldn't want to take this chance at all. And so when I had jumped back, I was looking around, and there was another Caracal Navy issue doing the same thing by a different guy. And so I went, checked on it, came back, grabbed my E&I, went right in. And this was almost no contest. He got me down to like, I don't know, 60% armor, give or take. But he was just, I was able to just pure out DPS him. The other interesting thing is he had a web.
Hams are a little slow.
Well, he was right on top of me.
Well, compared to a blaster, you're gonna do more damage.
Yeah, they're gonna be a little low on their damage output that they're gonna do. But you didn't have a scram, so he was even more tanked. So I could have left at any time, and that was another thing that I was like, you got to be careful about this stuff.
What are these? 2 large shield extenders, so he was pretty heavily tanked.
Yeah, 2 large shield extenders, a multi-spectrum, and a multi-spectrum.
No damage control. That's brave.
Yeah, he was going for high damage. I mean, the damage control is not going to do too much. It'll do a bunch for your hull, but because you're paper thin after your shields, basically, that's not going to help out too much. Whereas extra damage, I could see that working out. It did have an EM reinforcement and shield extenders, but yeah, this was still a good fight. I was like, impressed they took it. We were very honorable. We took exactly what we thought that would be a good counter. And he went with the higher tank, lower ability to hold me down. So to be honest, I probably would have just left if he was overtaking me. So, but I was able to still hold range control and be right up on top of him, just pouring out like 900 DPS worth of damage. So after that, though, we went and joined up with the Ribbit fleet that was up north, and just for the last little hour of the fleet, and they got into like 4 fights, like over in the they had moved up into the pirate incursion kind of area. There was a bunch of ice mining fleets and stuff like that being flown around, um, and so we were able to catch some just random, well, not random, but pirate fleets, and I think this is all pirate fleets. There might have been a Kaldari fleet as well. I know. Oh, and then a pirate fleet that we ran into that was our good old friend in Blue Canaries. Um,
Yeah, Blue Canary.
and so it was, why can't, Phantom. So
Phantomite.
Phantomite
Phantomite.
and watch the
Blue
not
blue
ready, don't
snuffed canaries.
yep. Don't shoot, bunch of don't shoot alts. So,
I love that guy. I had a lot of fun fighting him on gates and shit back in UA.
yep. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We kind of just went around, got into it. So I got to show the stream some good fleet fights. We had like 60 to 100 plus people that had been on throughout the night, or throughout the 5 hours. Yeah, so that was awesome. And then the big story that we're going to be talking about tonight as well is the Eva Geddon did a report, and you're not going to believe it, but maybe you will. The Frigate Free-for-All is back. So this is going to be on April... What was it?
11th?
April 11th, from 1600 to 2200 Eve time. There will be 10,000 plus fully fitted T1 frigates that are going to be handed out in Amanaki. So we will post up about where that's going to be and have that all inside of the description.
Amamake.
Amamake.
Close. You said
Amanaki.
Amanake.
Amanapa.
Amanmama.
But yeah, so this is an epic event. I highly suggest everybody get out there. If you can, supply your own frigates as well too. I know that I have cash nearby that I might move over, or I'll just stage out of my area too and try and get my frigates back in, because it's only a couple jumps away. Amanaki is a little bit farther.
You're welcome to bring your own shit, but there's plenty of stuff being handed out. Just it's actually quite fun to just set your home station to a station in system, and then just take a free frigate and go out and shoot shit. Oftentimes CCP will fly around too. You get on CCP kills. People will drop crazy, stupid shit sometimes, and you can get on those kills. And I'm talking like dreads and carriers and shit. I know, because I did that once, because that was a lot of fun. So yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll get on one of our dread or carrier kills if you show up to the FFA.
Yeah, it's there's some crazy stuff. Like, we have in the past had just a tribute smart bombing carrier that just dropped up into the middle of them that Gwen was flying. You got like an insane amount of kills.
We got like 40 kills with the smart bombs in a carrier.
I mean, definitely not this positive, but you were cool.
No, but positive. It was worth it. Also,
and everybody got
the
to,
carrier was donated
easy
to
kill.
me.
Yep.
Yeah, and I put a bunch of fun shit in there, like a piñata, so you guys would get things when it blew up.
But yeah, there's other crazy stuff like that we didn't want it to be like wipe out 1,000 frigates, which you don't even have that many people on grid at that level. But
yeah.
It being so, that was when, and it's been a lot closer in like Alente space as lately. So Amamake is going to be an interesting. I think it's been really kicking it up in the Mimitar Amar war zone. I think that they've really started fielding some bigger stuff out there. They don't have as much. They have the big Abe threat, and Shadow Cartel is around there, and Snuffed has been known to mess around in that area. There's more liberal use of their carriers for sure, and dreadnoughts and carriers and stuff. There's been a
Deemers.
lot of
They dropped
lot of
Deemers.
Deemers.
They dropped Deemers on Gwen to finish her. That's what happened because the frigates weren't going to do anything to the carrier.
Oh yeah, stuff just came
They
over.
just
We knew that they were right next in the station
Mhm.
over. Pretty much, we knew they were. And surprisingly, they didn't come for like a good 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah, they let it happen for a bit, so it would be interesting, I guess. Give him that much, but I am also going to give him this while we're chilling here. But anyways,
but
so
yeah,
say we all.
so the frigate free for alls that we've been to in the past have been really fun. A lot of really good.
Yeah.
One of the things is just to go out, target somebody, and start shooting. Another
Yeah.
thing you can try and kill male horror, see how much you can kill male horror as much as you possibly can. Where
Yeah,
you're
get into
just
like a frigate or a destroyer or something, and just
shoot
cloak out and
everything
wait for something
once.
big to, or just shoot everything once. Yeah,
Shoot
shoot
everything
something,
once and then
shoot
run
everything
all
once and get.
around.
Yeah,
Because
I
everybody's gonna
encourage
die
I
eventually,
kill male
probably.
whoring. Yeah,
um, or you can just just try and find one person that's away from everybody else and just go after them, because the likelihood that they're just gonna take the 1v1 is high. And
yeah. You could get a lot
it
of.
is
It's a
also
really good way to
suggested,
get in 1v1s.
don't go in a fleet. Try and just go by yourself. Like, don't.
Now you
Although
will get fleets. There will be
there are
small
going to
gangs
be
that
there are going to be small
fucking
gangs
around.
for sure.
But you can also, you could also assemble a small gang to take out the small gang assholes that are fucking around. Like,
Yep,
it's like
that's
make it interesting.
keep it
Don't let them
keep it
run
clean.
free. Keep it clean. Yeah, keep it Eve clean.
Eve clean, right?
It's like it's gonna be dirty. There's gonna be dirt regardless. I mean, even what Gwen did was dirty, but I tried to make it even out because I knew it was gonna. I mean, it's gonna die. Yeah, it's dirty that I'm killing pods but yes, make sure you're not. You're not supposed to. I mean, I should say it's frowned. Killing pods is frowned upon. But it's kind of hard not to with smart bombs. Like you can't do anything about that. Pods are going to be blown up if you're doing smart bombs. Smart bombs, of course, are also frowned upon. But again, like I said, everybody that shot that carrier within 15 minutes got on that kill. So
yeah, there was probably a
I
lot of
would
people
see it
that
as a
never been
positive.
on a
Like
carrier.
you got a free ship, and you got on a carrier kill that was loaded with all kinds of goodies, including but not limited to Quake's corpse was in there, I think, and your corpse and my corpse and probably Night Flyer's corpse. But it was a donated carrier. It was donated to me by a good friend who hasn't been on in a while. Kind of miss him. But he, yeah, he's like, if I give you a carrier, a smart bombing carrier, will you drop it in the FFA? And I was like, but yes. What? Give me a smart bombing super. I'll drop it. might get in trouble for that with our new alliance, but yeah.
No, if you're doing it, if you
It's a lot of
know
fun.
what you're doing, and doing it on purpose, I think it's a little different.
Yeah, but I would also have to tell them like, hey, is it okay if I do this? You'll see a bunch of really terrible kills show up, and then you'll see me lose a really expensive ship. You know what I mean? Like, but yeah, it
But
is
yeah,
ultimately different than like losing an Aeon in Gemini.
yeah, doing ratting. So it's 1600 Eve time to 2200 Eve time. Definitely come check it on out. So that's April 11th
In Amamake.
in Amamake. So
Just show up with your tune, set your home station to one of the handout stations, and you trade. They'll be spamming in local trade so and so, and they'll give you like 3 ships when you start, and it'll start to dwindle. When they start to get lower, they'll start giving you 1 or 2, but they'll give you really, and they're all going to be Tech 1 frigates. So as long as you have Tech 1 frigate skills for every race, you'll be fine. and just do it.
Yeah, a
Just
lot
get
of
out there
them
and
are
lose
just,
them.
the
It's worth it.
lowest,
It is a lot of fun.
just
It's
pack
a
one
lot of
stuff.
fun.
So a lot of the times you don't even need any of the
Like
deck
I said, I've
two.
been on both sides. I've done the handouts, and I've done the stupid warp something fucking stupid and large into it and be a dick. And it's all fun. It is, honestly. Honestly, I think
It's
that
Eve.
the more the dickier thing is the little small gangs that are just like, doing their
Completely
like,
cleaning up.
6 destroyers, like a dozen longbow fucking corms or some bullshit, just cleaning people out. Like, that's not fun. Don't do that. But bring in a small assault gang frig to take those assholes out.
There you go. Awesome. Well, I think that that's all that we have for today. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for coming on, Samson, and have a great
Thank
night.
you for having me. Have a great night, New Eden.